pornography addictions and those types of things, you should check that out. Or if you know somebody struggling with that, especially a teenager struggling with it, she offers resources for teens struggling with porn addictions on this foundation. So check it out. And she says, when you view pornography, it creates a chemical reaction in your brain. For a youth who is in puberty, it's like 100 times more stimulation. So the kids that are doing this and going online and viewing this material, especially young children, their brains are just being burnt by this chemical reaction, and this thing is being burned into their memory. It's something that is just horrible for them to be able to be part of, because it creates an addiction. Again, the show's about human rights and justice for all, and one of those human rights is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, what's happiness? What's the opposite of liberty? Enslavement, bondage. And so being bound to anything, any type of addiction, including alcoholism or pornography or lying or stealing or whatever it is something that will, take you into a slavery type thing where you're actually addicted. Now, there's a gentleman named Joseph Scrimbra, S-C-I-A-M-B-R-A. Okay. His first exposed to pornography when he was 8 years old. He was fascinated and turned it into an obsession by the time he was a teen. By the time he was 19, he was no longer. It was no longer enough just to watch porn. He had to be in it. So Scambria decided to become a porn star. He writes all about his experience in his book Swallowed by Satan, and this is Joseph's S-C-I-A-M-B-R-A for those of you that are looking to get his book. So he has some neat resources also. And then he also says, this is an interesting statement, going into porn films was not a big leap for me because I had seen every sort of porn scenario. Now, I'd just like to point out a verse in the Bible that speaks to this quite clearly. This is 1 Timothy chapter 4, and I'm in the King James Version here, so I apologize for you anti-King James buffs out there, but it's the one I grew up on, okay? So it's the one I have to reference. It's the only way I can remember the scriptures because they are in my brain in King James. And that's a fact. A little truthism about Greg Malone this morning. So in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verses 1 and 2, it says, now the Spirit speaketh expressly, or speaks clearly, that in the latter times, or the end times, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Now, what are these seducing spirits and doctrines of devils saying? They're speaking lies in a hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Now, will you see this thing where this young man, this Scrimbria at 19 years old, said he had to go into the porn industry because nothing else would satisfy him, and because his brain was burnt out, his conscience was actually seared to the point where participating in the porn industry was no big deal. And I would suggest to you that most people in the porn industry, and I feel badly for them, and I trust that the Lord will bring them out of that and take them out of that corrupt business practice. And that's what it is. And you may or may not agree with me. I give you full opportunity to disagree with me. But I would, it's really important that I just point out that it is an evil industry. And people say there isn't evil in the world. There's no such thing as good and evil. It's all relative, blah, blah, blah. I tell you what, on September 11th, I believe it was 2009, if anyone on that day did not believe that evil actually existed, I would think you to be quite naive or blinded in some way, because evil does exist. for men to hijack airplanes and slit the faces and wrists of stewardesses and tie them up, and then fly planes into buildings filled with thousands of people and into the Pentagon, then evil does exist. So this pornography or pornographic industry is evil, and it does exist. Some of the warning signs to watch out in children or young people who are addicted to pornography include failing grades, isolation from family and friends, lying or being secretive about how they spend their time, and depression. Parents, do not, listen to me, listen to what I'm saying. Do not allow your child to have a laptop or a desktop computer in their room or somewhere where they can be alone. You know that the idle hands are the workshop of the devil. You ever heard that before? Well, idle time on the internet is the workshop of the devil for kids. You shouldn't be allowing your children to surf the internet without them being in the same room you are, with your ability to see the screen and what they're watching as they're surfing the internet. You should be able to see that. And you say, oh, well, that won't allow me to respect my kid's space. Listen, if you're a parent and you're so worried about respecting your kid's space, you're trying to be their friend. And there's nothing wrong with being friendly with your children and developing friends with them as they grow and become into adults. But when they are children, you are not their friend. You are their parent. Now you say, oh, what a horrible thing to say. Greg just said we shouldn't be friends with our kids. No, that's not what I said. I said when it's appropriate at a certain age, you can be their friend. But until that time, you are their protector. You are there to supervise them. You are there to direct them and lead them in the way they should go. That's your job. And there's a lot of parents out there not doing this. And I gave some statistics a while back about with child abuse statistics, and like 79% of all child abuse reports are due to neglect, where the kids are just let to go and do what they want anytime they want, and these types of things. So also, Lubin, the woman who started the Pink Cross Foundation, she states that, if you're going to talk to your children about their pornography addiction, she says, put your pornography away first. And she's speaking to men and women who are the parents of these children. They need to put these types of things away before they speak out on these types of things. And I say that is a great idea and should be done. Again, if you'd like to call in and be part of the show, just to give your wisdom and your ideas, it's 561-623-9429. That's 561-623-9429. Now we're going to be going into a section on how to overcome an addiction to pornography as a teenager. And now this is a very difficult time of life because there's certain things in the brain that have not developed. As we know, as children age, different parts of their brain develop, and we need to just realize that as at different age levels, their brain computes at different rates and different levels, and we should know that. It's easy to see in children as they're born, and milestones that they can roll over, they crawl, they can walk. They can start talking, they can be potty trained, and we move on up through all these type of things, feed themselves. They can start doing the laundry, taking out the trash, these types of things. And parents, if you don't train your children to work as young children, picking up their toys when they're done with them, they should be able to do that at a very young age and should know that it is expected of them to do that. And as they go through life and they know to work, they will continue working as you direct them in doing so, and they won't become a couch potatoes playing Nintendos and Xboxes and all these types of PS3, or I guess there's a PS4 out now for Christmas. Real big deal. But you wouldn't believe how many men and women spend hours and hours every day involved in these types of activities, and it's just it's not a good thing. So let's go into how to overcome an addiction to porn as a teenager. Like many other destructive behaviors that disrupts your everyday life, watching porn can be an addiction. Here are some tips to overcoming it. First of all, you need to recognize what your addiction to pornography is. Okay? Now, you're going to say, oh, Greg, you're going to go on the religious side. Well, yes, I am, because that's who I am. I'm a religious person. I'm a philosopher. I believe in Jesus Christ. I love his word. I love the Bible. That's who I am. So just so you know who you're dealing with here. First of all, is to recognize what it is. It is sin. And James chapter 4, verse 17 says, whoever knows to do right and fails to do it, for him it is sin. So if you know not to participate in these types of things, and you know it's sin, don't participate in them. We see in the Garden of Eden when Adam and Eve first knew that they were naked after they had eaten up of the tree of the fruit, looking at people naked is something you should not do because it causes things to happen in your brain and in your body that will cause you pain and hurt later on down the road. You might think right now, hey, this is a lot of fun, but the fact of the matter is that down the road, you will develop problems and have issues. It will ruin any type of normal sex life you will ever have with your wife or husband. It will cause inappropriate ideas of what sex is like and that type of thing. What you're watching on those porn sites is not what sex is really like. I mean, everybody wished that it was that way all the time, but it's not the truth. It's portraying something that is not real. No woman would like to have the things done to them on these porn sites that are normally done. And think about it, trying to get a date that will, or a sex partner or a husband or wife that's going to just naturally participate in this type of degrading behavior, it ain't going to happen. So we really need to see what it is, and that it is sin, and that's what the Bible calls it. Also, recognize that you are capable of forming new habits and breaking old ones. And here's the crux of the matter. To get out of pornography addiction, you gotta want to, okay? You gotta wanna, if you ever heard that statement before. You're never going to do anything that you don't really want to do. If you're happy and very pleased with your pornography addiction, it's going to be difficult or impossible for you to overcome it. But for the grace of God, I mean, he can do anything. But you need to come out of that addiction, and the only way to do that is you have to want to do it. If you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it. Okay, so first of all, you have to realize this is wrong. I'm addicted to this. It's taken away from my personal life. I'm being secretive. I'm hiding my internet activities. I'm not socializing with people anymore. I'm spending most of my nights on my computer in my room watching porn or whatever is going on, and not doing well in school because I'm so stinking tired out of my brain because I watch porn all the time. And I don't have any interest in girls because I watch porn all the time. Or girls, I don't have any interest in boys because I watch porn all the time. These types of things are life-controlling behavior. And again, we want you to be free. I want you to be free. And the only way to get that freedom is to recognize what's going on and take control of it. So, remind yourself that you are stronger than any addiction. And I would say in Christ Jesus, you are stronger than any addiction. And here's another thing. Don't punish yourself for relapses or having problems with this, that's not going to do any good. What you need to do is turn to God and say, God, who do you say I am? Who do you want me to be? What do you want me to be?